How to be more consistent in golf. It's probably the number one question that I get asked by you golfers. So today I'm going to share with you 5 of my top secrets of how you can become more consistent on the golf course. Stay till the end for one of my favourite bonus tips. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, if I could just ask one favour, and it'd be hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second to do, it helps me, it helps the channel grow, and most of all, you'll never miss another video to get you better at golf. Let's get into it. Now, I could stand here all day, all week and tell you reasons why you aren't consistent. But as always, I'm going to break it down and make it as easy as possible for you to take onto the practice ground, take onto the golf course. And today there's 5 main reasons. As always, I'm not going to blabber loads of technical words to you. I'm going to keep it short, keep it simple. Again, you want to get better at golf and I want to see you getting better at golf. Step number 1 is all about ball position. Now, I hear so many golfers go on about the technical side of the game, worrying if something's going wrong in the swing. Now, before you even need to be concerned about that, we need to worry about what's going on with the ball position, because that's where a lot of your inconsistent shots come from. You may have the perfect technique, you may be doing everything right, ticking all the boxes, but your ball position's either way too far forward, back, and that's going to have a huge impact on your consistency. So let's go through every club in the bag, where the ball needs to be positioned and how this is going to affect your ball flight if it's wrong. Starting with driver. Driver needs to be forward in our stance. Now, this is the most common one what I see go wrong, because I see golfers too far forward and too far into the centre. So forward, just so that we're on line with our lead heel, like so. This is going to allow us to hit up on the ball, whereas if you've got it too far back, then you're going to be hitting down. The ball's going to be going low. It's not going to be very consistent. However, if it's forward, that's when we're going to be getting a lot of height and lots of distance. Now, fairway woods. Again, fairway woods need to be forward in our stance. Not too far forward like we see with our driver, but forward enough that it's going to allow the club to glide nicely at the right time. So how we want the ball position with our fairway woods is, again, not centre, not forward, just in between. I like to think of it as, if I pop my 2 toes together, I'm taking 1.5 steps forward and 3 steps back. You can see my stance is nice and wide. I'm not centre and I'm not too far forward. Now, if you've got your ball position too far into the centre with this club, again, you're going to top it. And I know a lot of golfers top the fairway woods. So a little bit further forward, that's going to allow you to brush the ground nicely. And the same for our long irons. Long irons needs to be pretty much the same for the fairway woods. So again, not centre like I see most people go to with the irons, because they assume it's the same club, just forward in our stance. So again, popping our toes together, 1.5 steps forward and 3 steps back. And now our mid irons, we're going ever so slightly left to centre, okay? This is where I see far too many golfers going out of the centre. Again, you're going to duff it. It's not going to be very nice. So just left to centre. Now we're taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And that leaves us absolutely perfect, ready to hit a clean divot and a clean strike every time. Now, ball position with our wedge purely depends on the height that you want to produce with your wedge. A lot of people don't know this, but if you have the ball position forward, then that's going to produce a higher ball flight. If you have your ball position back, then the ball's going to come out lower. So either way, if you want a high ball flight, we're going to go forward, just on line with our lead heel, like you'd see with our driver, and then back, just on line with our trail heel, if you wanted to go nice and low. And now finally, the putter, ever so slightly left of centre. Okay, so this is where I see far too many people going way too far forward. You can see I'm going to catch the bottom of the club. It's going to cause the club to twist and turn. There's going to be no consistency. So just left of centre. Again, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Section number 2 is poor body alignment. Again, so many golfers tell me that they're not hitting it in the right direction. They're hitting it left, they're hitting it right. They don't know why, because they're swinging it the same every time. Now, let's check your body alignment, because I'm sure if it's not your technique, it's definitely either got to be your ball position or your body alignment. Okay, so why I see so many golfers going wrong, number 1, they don't pick a target, okay? They kind of just hit and hope. They don't know where they're aiming for. And number 2, is that the body is offline with the shoulders and the club, okay? So let's talk through that a little bit more, and how do we need to align our body to get it right every time. Now, the club needs to aim directly to our target, but then the body needs to aim parallel to our ball, okay? So the ball and the body are parallel, running alongside. They never meet, and that's where I see golfers go wrong. They have the feet pointing to the flag and they have the club pointing to the flag. Now that's going to cause your ball to curve big style, okay? So bringing that lead foot back so that our feet, our shoulders are parallel to our ball, which is pointing to our target. Okay, if you've got your feet and your shoulders pointing in the wrong direction, unintentionally you're going to again be creating a curvature. That's when you see some of the best golfers in the world forcing a fade shot, a draw shot. They've got trees in the way that they need to curve the ball around. That's when you can manipulate the ball flight. But if you're wanting to hit the ball straight and get some consistency, then make sure you're checking this out. Okay, so I'm going to go to this target just here at the front. I'm going to use my rangefinder to see how far I've got, and if you didn't already know, I've just partnered with Nikon with their new rangefinder. I use the Nikon Coolshot Pro 2 and it's absolutely fantastic. I've been using it for a while now. I'm so impressed with the quality, the accuracy, and I just couldn't live without it. So thank you so much to Nikon for the support. I love it. Okay, so this is, let's see, 109 yards. So I'm going to use I'm going to go for a pitch and wedge, okay? What I want you to do, take the club with either hand, absolutely fine. I go with my trail hand. Pop it behind the ball so that the club head points to the target in the distance, okay? From there, I'm going to set my feet parallel to my ball. I do not want my feet aiming to the target too, because straight away you can see my shoulders are aiming in one direction, the club's aiming in the other, and my feet are aiming in the other. That's going to see a big, massive curved ball flight, which we do not want. Okay, so club points to target, feet and shoulders run parallel, and then from there we're going to take our swing. Okay, very nice. That went a little bit left, but I was happy with the strike. I may have been aiming there, but again, I can always go back, readdress my body alignment, check my ball position, and then I'll be getting it a lot straighter. Now, number 3 is all about too much lateral movements, too much work going on with the body. I see so many golfers overcomplicate the golf swing because they've got into their own head. They're thinking too much about what they're doing wrong rather than concentrating on the target and taking away any negative thoughts. So let's see how now you can take any bad movements away from your swing, because we've already got the correct ball position and the correct body alignment. So I'm going to give you a really, really good drill, okay? And it's one that you'll have seen me doing many, many times before because it's so good. It gets the whole body moving as one, and it's going to have you hitting consistent golf shots. If we're doing it, that's if we're doing it. If you just forget about this and you don't do it, then there's no point in me showing you, okay? So take your club, so the club head is on this end, pop it on your shoulders like this, have your golf ball straight in front where you'd normally have it, where you'd normally set up to it. What I want you to do is work the club head down towards the ground, down towards the ball, but inside your trail thigh like this, okay? So work it down to the ball, into the trail thigh. Okay, what you'll feel with this, you'll feel your body rotating, you'll see your weight shifting, and you'll really feel connected because everything's working as one. Okay, so down towards the ball, into your trail thigh. And then from there, I want you to work the butt of the club, down towards the ball, in towards your lead thigh. Okay, just look at my body. I'm not lifting, I'm not dipping, and I'm certainly not swaying, because if I sway, then the club won't reach down towards the ball. It's going to point out. And if I sway, then again, it's not going to reach the ball, okay? So that is fantastic to do. I tell everyone to do it. So once more, club to chest, working inside trail thigh, inside lead thigh. Okay, and then how does that supposed to now link to using a golf club? So what I'd advise, just doing some half swings, really feeling that you can feel your shoulder working down towards the ball, half swings, back and forward, really getting that good rhythm. Being very conscious of that, you're keeping your sternum over the ball. Okay, so many golfers I see move off. You can see my sternum's way behind the ball now, or if they try and force it, sternum's way too far forward. So keeping your sternum over the ball, really feeling that club head is working down towards the ball, but the club works down towards the ball. Okay, once you've done some half swings, work your way up to a full swing. Get yourself confident with that. Again, working on correct ball position, body alignment, really taking in that drill. And again, you're going to be hitting some lovely, consistent golf shots. Number 4 is not practicing and not knowing your distances. Now, I speak to so many golfers who tell me that they want more consistency, they're hitting bad shots and they're fed up with the golf. And the two things I ask them is, number 1, how often do you practice? And number 2, do you know your distances? And a lot of the time they say, I don't practice. And what do you mean by know my distances? Now, I know how hard it is when it comes to practice, not having time, not having the energy, you're jam-packed with work and family life. But if we can use our time that we do spend practicing and making the most out of that time by getting to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. If you've got a big slice, if you've got a big hook, focusing on those areas that you're going wrong is what's going to be more beneficial to your game. Rather than sticking to your favourite club and your favourite shot, that's what's going to keep your consistency up, but it's not going to help those areas that you're lacking in. So if we can identify what areas you're going wrong, focus your practice on those, and that's when you're going to see your game skyrocket. If you are listening to this and you're thinking, well, that's my issue, I don't know where I'm going wrong, I don't know what I'm doing wrong in my golf swing and my technique, the one thing I'd just say to you is just put the time in where you can. Even if you need to do some putting in the house, doing some swings in front of the mirror, just putting the time in, you'll become better at striking the ball, you'll be getting better consistency, and again, listen to the points that we've just mentioned before, make sure you've got the correct ball position, correct body alignment, and you're going to be getting your game better. Sometimes it does just come down to time. You haven't put the time in, so we haven't got the consistency just yet. Maybe you're a beginner golfer, a high handicapper, even a really good golfer. If you're not putting the time in, and again, time, it's hard, but if we can just put our practice in the right places, then again, you're going to be building up your consistency. And with that being said, knowing your distances is a huge part of your practice session and obviously consistency on the golf course. When you are practicing, if you can get to the driving range, make sure you're practicing to targets rather than just practicing to nothing at all, using your one club to every single distance. Make sure you spend time understanding how far each one of your clubs go. Because as I mentioned before, when I do ask people that and they look at me with a blank face, that's telling me that you're kind of just grabbing hold of your club, not knowing how far it's going, and that's when you're going to be dropping shots. Because if you can know that your pitching wedge goes 110 yards, your 9-iron goes 120 yards, then that's when you're going to be able to get creative on the golf course. You're going to be more consistent and a lot more accurate. And as well, you're going to enjoy the game more because in yourself, you've got that confidence. You know how far you need to hit it to get over the water, get it to the flag. So practice when we can and understand your yardages. Know how far every single club in the bag goes, whether it's a half swing, a full swing, a chip with the same club. Know your yardages. You can't improve what you don't try. Finally, number 5 and my added bonus tip is all about strike location and divots. Now, I hear so many golfers go on saying, again, they've not got any consistency. When they hit the ball, it feels really off. The ball's curving left to right. They can't seem to get it to go straight. Is strike location something that you've ever thought of before? And what does strike location mean? Strike location is where we're hitting the ball off the club face. Now, if you're hitting it out the centre, which is absolutely ideal, then that's when you're going to have a nice strike. It's going to feel good when you hit the ball. If you're hitting it out the toe or out the heel, that's when you're going to see the ball curve. It's going to feel really sharp in your hands and it's not going to be consistent. So how does that link to divots? Now, divots is all about at what point on your swing arc have you hit the ball. So if this is the ball on the fairway, you've hit the ground and then the ball, then your divot's going to be way too far back. If you don't make a divot at all, then you may have just caught it very clean, or you've thinned it, you've hit the top of the ball. Or you may hit the ball and make a divot way too far forward here, okay? Again, it's very inconsistent. The ideal shot is ball and then divot, okay? So that's what we call ball to ground contact. And if you're not, as we mentioned before, if you're not putting the time in with your practice, if you've not got the correct ball position, body alignment, if you're laterally moving, if you're not turning properly with the body, that's when these strike locations are going to be off and you're going to be hitting the ground at the wrong time. The club face may be open, it may be closed, okay? So let's dial in with my favourite drill of how you can hit the ball out the sweet spot, as we call it, the centre. Make sure our divot is at the right time and our club face is square when we come to hit the ball. So it's square working towards a target. It's not pointing this way, it's not pointing this way. Get yourself 3 tees. Any tees are absolutely fine. Place 1 tee to the side of the ball like this, another to the side of the ball, and 1 just in front, okay? This is creating a gate so that the club can actually fit through, okay? The harder you want to do this, the closer you bring the tees in. I'd advise just starting off a little bit further out, okay? Just so you can get a feel for this drill. Again, the harder you want to go with this one, you bring it further forward towards the ball and start about here, about a ball width away, okay? The aim of this drill is to ensure that you're swinging on the correct path. The club face is pointing in the right direction, so it's square again, it's not open, it's not closed, and you're hitting the tee. So we're going to hit the ball and then the tee, okay? If you're creating this type of shot, then you're going to miss the tee altogether. Now, that is really good for irons. We're hitting down on the ball. When it comes to driver, you can actually use this drill as well. Driver, like we mentioned before when we talked about ball position, driver you want to hit up on. So using the same drill, rather than hitting the tee in front, you want to miss the tee. You want to glide above it. So that's why I love this drill so much, because you can use it for every club in the bag. I've made this a little bit easy for myself, so I'm going to bring it in a little bit closer, like so. If you've not got tees, you can use anything. You can use a grain of grass, you can use a leaf, you can imagine the dot being there, okay? And really feeling that we're swinging the club through the gate, which makes sure that our club face is square. It's not open, it's not closed, we're not hitting out the toe, the heel, we're hitting it out the centre, and most importantly, we're creating that clean divot. We're making that ball to ground contact like we see with the pros. Let's give it a go. Okay, really nice. I hit the tee. Again, if you want to make that harder, bring the tees in close. But I'd advise starting a little bit further out. Gives you a really good feel of how the club should be working. And again, you're going to be getting a lot more consistency. And there you have it, my 5 most popular ways of getting more consistent at golf. If you took value from this video, then I would really appreciate if you could hit subscribe. Like I said before, it really helps me and it makes sure you'll never miss another video like this one. See you in the next one.